Hello, everyone. My name is Shatasia, and I am here with Grow Forward Godcast again. And today I am going to speak about just basically how the people need to wake up. God has been dealing with me about, just basically sounding the alarm and just speaking on how the time is drawing nearer and nearer. Like at one point we always heard that God is soon to come back. He's soon to come. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. We heard about it for so long, but now where we at this point in time is even closer than where it was when we first heard. So, I'm just here to speak on the things that he gave me to speak, and that's it, just to do my part. So, and if you hear my dog in the back whining and carrying on, just disregard that, because she's in her cage and she's having a little fit, a little tantrum because she want to get out, but she's not. So anyway, I want to go back to my testimony when I was speaking on my experience from the outer darkness, and I didn't really go into the ending portion of that experience. So when I was in that experience and in that space, that darkness, when the Lord pretty much presented himself to me, revealed himself to me, and gave me the scripture to say, which was Matthew 4:10, I believe. Worship the Lord thy God and serve him only. I followed the instructions that the Lord gave me, and I spoke exactly what he told me to speak on. And then he began to tell me to say his name, say in the name of Jesus. And I kept saying that thing until that evil spirit released me. Had no choice but to release me. So what I'm going back to and saying, what I wanted to say was that the name Jesus has power. No demon, no darkness, anything that represents darkness could stand that name. I don't care if it's a person, it could be a person that's an atheist that just have no acknowledgement to God or towards God. They would even get irritated when you speak on Jesus. And when you speak on Jesus heavily, like you ain't letting up, like nothing that is contrary to him could deal or could like stand or be able to be around a person that's always speaking on Jesus. Just like if you got a crew that's just being what they want to be, how they want to be, but someone come around that's speaking on Jesus and speaking on the word of God, like they get so irritable they don't even want to be around them. So, like I said, nothing can stand. Anything that is not like him cannot stand that name. It cannot stay in the presence of his glory or his name or in the light. It gotta go. So, yeah, I came. That spirit let me go. I came out of that, and when I came back to myself, when I woke up, I was drenched in sweat. I was completely wet. My shirt was wet, my bra was wet, my hair was wet, my face was wet. I was completely soaking wet. And when I got up, I went and told my mother about it. But then I called my pastors, which was my cousin and her husband. She didn't pick up, but he did. Her husband picked up the phone, and he was saying that that one of the church, I think he was a deacon, had already called him and let him know that someone was having a demonic attack, but they didn't know who it was. So they was already standing in prayer for me. And me not knowing anything about it, thank God that, he had people that are in place, whether we know it or not, that are interceding on our behalf. And those prayers, like, are really keeping us. And besides the Lord Jesus interceding for us himself, because he sits on the right hand side of the Father, and he makes intercession for us. And without him just pleading with the Father to give us another chance, there's no telling where we would be. So with all that being said, I just want to basically, just want to kind of reiterate how God gives us time. He gives us time, and he gives us time basically because how Jesus is interceding on our behalf and pleading with the Father to give us another chance, to give us another time. To give us more time. But we can't take time for granted. You can't look at one person and say, oh, you had to go through your process and I'll get there. Like, yeah, like everybody goes through their process, but we don't know when we are going to be called. And thank God that he's been patient with me, and he kept me here to be able to tell this story, because at one point I was just doing what I wanted to do, and he seen what he's seen the best in me. He knew what he created me to be. He knew what I will be here doing this day, this time, this hour. I didn't know. So I can't, like, no one should look at the next person and say, oh, well, he did it for you, he'll do it for me. Because we don't know. Everybody have an expiration date. And I didn't know that I would still be here. Thank God that I am. But you can't take life for granted. We can't take time for granted and just feel like I'm going to be here until I finish my purpose. Like, I heard someone say to me one time, like, I'm not going anywhere until my purpose is fulfilled, until I complete what God said me to complete. And I just thought that was the most foolish thing that I've ever heard, because who are you to think that God is going to sit and wait for you? Who are we to feel and think that we are just that privileged, that God is going to do what we ask him to do when we want him to do it and how we want him to do it? I'm going to play and do this, that, and that, and the third. And when I finish, then I'll give God my time. And that's not how it works, because God wants the best from us. He wants us at the best times of our life, which are like our youthful period. He don't want you when you are broken down and you can't do nothing. I'm sorry. Well, you can't do nothing. When you old and you're not as vibrant and energetic. He don't want you when you're about ready to go to the dirt. He wants you when you vibrant, when you're youthful, when you have health, and like when you are able to do, when you have it, like the what's the word, like when you're vibrant enough. Like he don't want you to wait and see the world don't wore you out and tore you to pieces, and now you want to come. And I'm not saying he won't take you in, because as long as you have breath, he'll take you in. But what he prefer is to use us while we are vibrant, while we are energetic, while we while we could do things, are in good health. And just like a coach or whatever off of a team, they gonna pick the players that are more vibrant, energetic, that can go, to have stamina. That's the same thing with God. He wants us while we have the stamina to go and to do, but we can't sit and say that, oh, I'm gonna be here until I fulfill my purpose, because You can't say that. Who are you to think God is going to wait on you? Because while you playing around and you messing around, there are people that are tied to your yes in Him, that are tied to your purpose and your will, and you playing around, you're not answering to your call. You got people that are tied to you that are dying out there, that are um being damaged, lost, or whatever it is, so we that's blood that's going to be on our hands, because that's like really being selfish at the end of the day. You being selfish about it, and you just can't tell God what you're going to do and how you're going to do it, and He just going to have to wait until I finish because I'm not ready yet. No, that don't work that way. He will remove you out the way. He could cut your days short if he feel like it, or when you feel like coming, and after all the time he been calling and knocking and trying to get your attention, he could very well may turn his head, because he turn the deaf ear to you because you ignored him. So when you ready for him, he can ignore you. But we you can't say that I'm not ready for all of that. And another thing that I want to say is that people, you cannot come to God and be half stepping. I heard somebody say to a couple of people say, I'm not gonna come to God until I'm ready to give my all. And I understand that. I'm not going to play with God, but I'm just going to come when. Still, it's the same thing. Like when I'm ready, when I'm ready to give Him my all. You playing Russian roulette with your life, like really, basically, you playing Russian roulette with your life because you don't know. No man knows the day or the hour. All of us have an expiration date. You don't know if you're going to go out there one day, go to work, go to the grocery store, go get some gas or whatever. You don't even know if you're going to make it back home. You better pray and hope that God allows you to make it back home, because we don't know. People take time for granted, and people just really need to wake up. I remember my grandmother saying when I was younger that every day we supposed to live each day as if it's our last. We supposed to live every day as if it's our last day here. And I could see and I understand why now, because we just don't know. You can't say, like, it just sounds so crazy to me now that where I'm at in life, where I'm at in my spiritual journey, where I'm at in my relationship with God, I could see how that is the most ignorant thing to say. Like, if like looking from a spiritual standpoint and looking from where God is at, like He's so gracious to us and towards us. He give us so much grace and mercy. He give us chance after chance after chance after chance. And it's just like, I can imagine that His feelings may be hurt or His heart is broken, because you got people that's rebellious, stiff-necked, and stubborn and want to do things how they want to do it. And the whole while, like, you're protecting them, you're keeping them, you're covering them, you're providing for them. That's just like if you have a child and you're providing for them, you're doing for them, and you're showing them love every way that you can, but they don't want to hear nothing you have to say. They don't want to be bothered with you. They hurt your feelings. They go out in the street and do what they want to do, and they come back as if you're supposed to keep doing it over and over and over again. But God is just that gracious. He's just that good to us, that He's just. He's a fair and just God, and he just keeps doing it because that's who He is. It's His nature. He is love. His, like, God is love. Like, God equals love. That's Him. But He still have emotions. He still have feelings. He still is a jealous guy. His feelings still get hurt. His heart is broken every day. Like, every day when we do things, we crucify Him over again, over and over and over again. And I know he may look at people like, I'm just gonna give them more time. They don't understand right now. They don't get it. But that's because he want to. He don't have to. He do not have to do that. He don't. So how dare we as people feel like he better and he have to, like he owe us something, because he don't. He don't owe us anything. He don't have to do nothing that he don't want to do. He don't have to. If he want to come and snatch the very breath, the life out of your body, we are just as, our life is just as a vapor. You here 1 minute and gone the next. And he gonna keep it pushing, and he gonna keep doing what he have to do, because at the end of the day, there are more lives, there are more souls that need to be saved. There are more people out there that has to be saved, that are looking for a solution, that are ready to commit suicide. People that are, just bogged down, they losing their mind. Like, it's people that need him out there. He cannot stop the world and everything in it because you not ready. So he could turn you over to yourself. He'll give you a reprobated mind, turn you over to yourself. He could turn a deaf ear to you and not want to be bothered with you. Like I said, whatever he chooses to do, that's just on him. But you can't say that I'm not leaving here. I'm not going nowhere until I complete my purpose in him. Because God look at you like, what? Who you think you are? You know what? I'm going to give you 2 more years to live. Or I'm going to cause you to get sick. Like I said, he could do whatever he want to do. He could remove his hand and let the gates of hell whip and tear you to pieces. You can't, we just have to be so grateful and have to be so mindful that he is the God that just keeps us. He keeps us from things that we don't even realize he's keeping us from. He protects us. He provides for us. It's nothing that we are doing on our own. Nothing. We're not doing anything on our own. You make up your mind. You could be rebellious. You could go and do things that you want to do. Yeah, he give us free will. But at the end of the day, it still revolves around him. He's allowing you to, just have a free will. He's allowing that. He don't have to, because he could stop you. He could put it to an end if he really wants to. So people need to think about that. And we are made for him. He's not made for us. We were made and created to serve and to be there for him. So in everything that I say, I'm giving some type of natural example to where y'all can understand what I'm saying. So, like I said, he made us for him. He made us for him. He's not made for us. So from a natural standpoint, the example I would use is that sometimes when couples get together, they want to have a child. They want to have a child because they want to share love. They have so much love. And when a lot of times when people are together, they want to expand their family because they love each other so much. They want to share their love. I want to have a child because I love you so much. You love me, and let's expand our family. Sometimes it go like that, and sometimes it don't, because some people just, make mistakes. I was one of them. I'm not going to call my kids mistakes, but I didn't know, what I was doing. And, things ended up being the way, that it was. Nevertheless, I love my kids. They are blessings from God. But the example that I'm using, he created us just like a couple they may want a child together because they want to share their love. This is something that they have in common. I want something or someone to be here to leave a legacy or something, someone that's like me. I want to share my likeness with someone, per se, like a man that want a son. A man may want a son because he want to leave everything to his son. You have cultures in past generations and stuff, and even now in other countries and stuff, they have cultures where they want to have a son to where the son could continue on the name, to continue on what has been started. So I can use that example. That's how God is. Like, he created us to share his love, to have, children that he could convey with and share experiences with. He wants to talk to us. He want to show us things. He want to reveal to us. He don't want us to be blinded. He don't want us to be ignorant as to what's really going on and who he really is. All of that came into play when the devil, Satan, Lucifer, he's just jealous of God and wants to take his place and want to be like him. So by any means necessary, whatever it takes to deceive and disrupt mankind and disturb things, that's just what he's just set out to do. So we are made for him. He is not made for us. So it's no such thing as when I get ready, when I feel like it, when I feel like fulfilling my purpose, or he's gonna bless. This another one what we tend to do when we think he's gonna bless our plan versus us coming into the fullness of God and coming into alignment with his plan for us. We think God is just going to bless our plan. No, don't go that way. It does not go that way. I don't care. Listen, a lot of people's not going to like what I have to say. But at the end of the day, it is what it is because it's truth. Now, I don't care how much a person feel like they go to church. I don't care how much a person out here is acting like they is such a Christian and they can say they love God all day, every day. A person could say, I read the Bible. I know scriptures. But if you don't have a personal relationship with him, if you are not taking on his characteristics, if you are not taking on his way of thinking, his mind, if you are not taking on his burdens, his heart, how he feels, if you are not taking on the things that concern him, what makes you think he just going to bless your plan? What makes you think he just going to do what you want him to do? Because if I remember correctly, the word said, I abide in you and you in me. You can ask for whatever you want, and I will withhold no good thing from you. But the key word is, I abide in you and you in me. That means you're taking on his mindset. You're taking on his personality. You're taking on his heart. You're taking on his burden. You're taking on his characteristics. You can't be how you want to be and say, I'm a Christian. I love God. I love Jesus. No, because if you really love him, you would be concerned about the things that he's concerned about. Sorry. Not sorry. You have to be concerned about the things that he is concerned about, his will, his purpose, his people. You can't be out here cursing people out. You can't be out here just living however you want to live, having sex. And sex is not a bad thing. Fornicating is the bad thing. You're out here fornicating, you sleeping with this and that person. No, you can't do that. And like I said, I'm just telling what the truth is. I've been there before, and thank the Lord Jesus that He kept me here until my eyes became open. But who's to say that everybody else is going to have that same chance? You don't know. But thank God He kept me. And I'm sounding the alarm. I'm shouting it. I'm sounding the alarm from the rooftop, from the mountaintop, because I don't want it to be on. See how the devil works? It's cool though. But I am going to say what He gave me to say. So no, it ain't, I love God, and He knows what I love, and He knows what I want. So I just pray on what I want. But what you want might not be what He wants for you. So you cannot tell God to just bless what you want. And that's not even what He told you to do. That's not even who He told you to be with. You know what I'm saying? Even now, there are times, now if you giving God your full, complete yes, not no empty yes. Not an empty yes, because some of us give God an empty yes. We say yes, but it be like a halfway yes. Yes, Lord, I love you, but when He tell you something to do, you like, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't. No, I'm not doing that. I don't feel comfortable with that. That's not my lane. If you're not willing to grow, if you're not willing to be weird, the weird one, if you're not willing to be ostracized, if you're not willing to be crucified and persecuted and all them things for His name's sake, then nah, that's not a real yes. That's not a real yes. I'm sorry. But you can't just say, God, I love you, and I go to church, I read the Bible, and I just want you to bless my plan. I want you to do this. No, like it don't go like that. Like we have to abide in Him and the things of Him, His will, His way, His purpose for our lives, because all of us have a purpose, and we have to seek Him to find what that purpose is. And like I said, I've been there before. And, I found myself starting over and over and over. I done things, wasted time, wasted money. And if I could prevent anybody from doing the same, then that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get the people to wake up. Like, wake up, look, just everything comes back to Him. You have to go back to Him. You have to lay things before Him. You have to lay before His feet. You have to labor in some things. You have to fast for some things. You have to suffer through some things. Life is just not how we want it to be, and think God is just going to jump on our bandwagon, because it does not work like that. I think what I was getting ready to say before the video went out, I was going to say there are times where, we may have made a decision on our own, but it may come to a point where you decide, you know what, God, forget it. Whatever you want me to do, I'm here. Here I am, Lord. However, whatever you want me to do, I'm here. And once we are willing to sacrifice everything else and put Him first, and we show Him like we are serious, we show ourselves approved, then He just may go work out the things that you do truly love, like the person that you may truly love or the marriage or your children. Certain things He will give grace and favor over, because you've done this for me. You're putting everything else on the back burner for me. So I'll do this for you because I see that you really truly care and you love this person, and he can do that. He can, and it's the same thing like when it comes to us and our children, when they're doing what they supposed to do. It may be a point in time where, no, you can't have that, you can't do that, or I can't afford that. I don't have the money for that. But because your child still does what they're supposed to do, and they're diligent and they are responsible, and they are being accountable, and they are being trustworthy, then we may go back and say, you know what? I'm going to sacrifice and I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to get that game that they want. I'm going to get them that new iPhone because he really been doing what he was supposed to do. I didn't have to holler. I didn't have to scream at him. I didn't have to fuss. Usually I would have to fuss and say something about something every day, but I noticed that lately I have not had to say a word, and chores was being done, work was being done, grades are excellent. So I'm gonna bless them with something that they really want because they've been showing, effort. They've been putting forth their best effort. They've been doing what they're supposed to do. So as the parent, the mother or father, I'm gonna bless them with this because this is something they really wanted. Another example, and none of this stuff none of this stuff has been practiced or anything. This is just like, this is fresh, hot off the press, what God has been giving me to show, just examples, just so people can understand where he's at and how he feel. He really wants people to wake up. He really wants people to get it together. He really wants people to be aware of what's going on around us, to us, and not be ignorant, because the devil does not come to play. Satan does not come to play. He does not come to have a pity party. He does not come to just sway you a little bit. When he comes, he's coming, like the Bible said, as a roaring lion. And any of us would hate to be near a roaring lion, because we know if we get that close to a lion, we know it's over. We know it's over for us. So Satan comes as a roaring lion. He's not coming to play. He's coming to tear, shred. He's coming to do what he's supposed to do, and that's his job. That's who he is. That's what he is. He's a deceiver. He's a liar. He's a manipulator. He's he only comes to kill, steal, and to destroy. He comes to kill your hope. He comes to kill your hope. He comes to kill your dreams. He comes to kill your spirit, man. He steals your joy. He steals your peace of mind. And he just doesn't come to play at all. So we have to be made aware of the device and tactics that he used to take us down. And I'm trying not to be long-winded. I'm really trying not to be long-winded, but a lot of them things that like I mentioned, in those ways how Satan is so easily to get us, is mainly because we are so attached to things that are earthly. We are so attached to material things. We are attached to money. We are attached to our possessions. We are attached to relationships. We are too attached to things that we see. And the things that we see are temporary. The things that we see are temporary. And listen, that spiritual experience I had, and I've had a lot. I'll share more with you. But when you are in spirit form, nothing else matters, baby. The only thing that you are thinking about is, am I going to go to hell? Am I going to see the Father? You're not thinking about the things that the enemy try to put on our mind and have us so bombarded and heavy and all that stuff that we think about here, money, bills, trying to live. Like, yes, we do need to live. Hear me, I understand we do need to live. We do need money. We do need to pay our bills, things like that. But we are not our own. Those, a lot of those things, like, yes, God give us the ability to work. He give us ideas. He give us ways to make things happen. But at the end of the day, those things are not to take place. Summer, be quiet. Those things are not supposed to take place of God. Those are not supposed to take his place. He is the one that provides for us, really. He is the one that make ways for us. We don't do it ourselves. And even the things that the enemy present to some people, riches and fame and things like that, at the end of the day, everything that the enemy does is because God allowed him. The enemy is not even that powerful. The most that he can do to us is influence us. He gets in our head. He gets in our mind. He make people react. He manipulate people. He confuses people. He can't do nothing to us without God's permission. If God tell him no and to back off, he can't do nothing. He can't do nothing to us. So the most that he can do is influence us, confuse us, mess with our minds. He could touch our, little resources and things like that. But that's because God allowed him. You know what I'm saying? But the way how the enemy worked, that's all he could do. That's all he could do is just influence us. And if you are not covered, or if you're not under the shadow of the Almighty, if you are not standing under the umbrella of protection, or if you're not under the wing of God, it ain't nothing for him to take your mind. It ain't nothing for the enemy to attack you and take place in you. Demons, people is demon possessed, people who are mentally, have these mental illnesses and things like that. Those all of those things are demonic. Those are demonic activities that are even going on inside of people. That is demonic. But yeah, he's not really, the way how I look at it, Satan is a coward, and I tell him that every day. He's a coward. He's a punk. He can't do nothing. All he know how to do is confuse people and make people just be jumble up in their head. He could attack things, but still at the end of the day, he can't do nothing if God don't allow him. So if you got God on your side, if you are under the umbrella of the Almighty, if you are under his shadow, under his wing, what can he do? What can Satan do? What can his minions, his death, what can they do? And if God does allow something, that's because he's trying to teach you something, or he's trying to take you to another level. He's trying to get you to level up, or it has a good purpose behind it. So people just gotta really wake up. Like, everything here, this we gotta leave this place. We have an expiration date. We are not meant to stay here. We are not meant to get so attached to people that you can't even let people go to serve God. Some people are just such people pleasers. They don't even have an identity. Some people have no idea. They can't even function without being around a group of people. Don't know how to be to themselves, don't know how to pray, don't know how to sit in silence and listen to the Lord. Some people just cannot function without being around mess, without stirring up confusion, without being just miserable. Love to keep misery going, love to sit in a company of miserable people. Some people just do not know how to, they don't know anything but to just be in mess. Something is something is wrong with that. All of this is going away. Yeah, I'm sorry. She doing too much. You're doing too much. She gets jealous whenever I'm talking and doing things, like she wants to be the center of attention. So she'd be all right. But yeah, all of this is gonna go away when we leave out of this. When we leave up out of here, we will go to a whole nother place. And while we are here, we're supposed to be preparing for that next place. We are not meant to stay here. We are not meant to, we are not here to get so attached to worldly things. We are in the world, but not of the world. And I just don't know like how to break that down no more than what I did, because it's just temporal. Everything is temporary. I got some scriptures that you can go back and read. And like us people, people really got to wake up. Really got to wake up. Ephesians 5:14 through 17. You could read that. That's about waking up. Go back and read that on your own time. I didn't put that. It's some that I put that. Matter of fact, I do have it. Here we go. Ephesians 5:14 through 17. Wherefore he said, awake thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Christ shall give thee light. 15. Seeing that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. 16. Redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. There go. What the will of the Lord is. The will of the Lord, not your will. His will. And another one that I have is 2 Corinthians 4:18. While we look not at things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. You can't see the spirit realm unless you are spiritual and you have a real keen sense of if you're a seer and you have the gift of seeing, if you have the gift of a seer, of your prophetic, if you just have even discernment, because you could see certain things, you can feel things, you can, like, you just have to be a person that that have a real relationship with God, and he allows you to see certain things. The spiritual realm we don't see. And even those gifts, like, this just came to my mind just now, because even some of those gifts that we have from God, the there are people that have those same gifts that does not work for God. They use those gifts for selfish gain. You have witches, you have warlocks, you have people that are doing, that does like magic and sorcery and things like that. And they can see to a certain extent, but like I said, the kingdom of darkness is not all powerful. God is all powerful, and the things that they may see is from the kingdom of darkness, which still leads to some type of deception. And it's some type of lie. The enemy will make a person feel and think that they are blessed and that they're gonna get all these riches and just all these worldly things for the things that they're doing. But in turn, it is some type of sacrifice in your soul is the main sacrifice. So you doing all, if there is someone that is out there that is doing witchcraft, that is doing some form of magic and sorcery, and you feel like you see in the spirit realm and you see this, that, and that, and that is not the fullness of God. You are not seeing the whole truth in all of, because you're only seeing, you're only able to tap in what the devil is allowing you to tap in, which still he's the father of lies. He's very deceptive. He don't tell, he's not going to give you the whole truth and everything. So you might feel like that you are conquering something worthwhile, but all the while you are sacrificing your soul. So he's lying to you. He's tricking you at some point. So yeah, if it ain't nothing dealing with God, then what are you doing? If it ain't nothing dealing with God, I don't want it. I don't want it. Whoever, yeah, like, keep that to yourself. I don't want to be around it. None of that. And then there is Proverbs 3 and 5. No, Proverbs 3, 5 through 8. And that basically is a scripture of basically leaning not to your own understanding and acknowledging God in all your ways. So that goes back to what I was saying. It's not you presenting God what you want to present to him. Is you acknowledging him. You going back to him and taking counsel with him. You asking him what's the will for your life? Which way should you go? What decisions should you make? Not you going to do what you want to do and saying, God, this is what I got. I need you to bless this. That's not how that go. We are made for him. He is not made for us. So that is all that I have. People, please wake up, because the time is even closer than what it's been before. Like I said, we always heard since we was younger that Christ is on his way back. But look how many years ago that been. So it's even closer now. And the only reason, like I said earlier, the only reason why he didn't crack that sky yet is because he's still trying to give time. Listen, the Father is the only one that knows when that time will be. Jesus is the one that we must go through, because Jesus was the one that made the ultimate sacrifice for us to live. He shed his blood, and the reason why his blood was shed, because blood is life. There is life in blood. So it was not that any old person blood could be used. God used his son to come into the flesh to sacrifice his life. He sacrificed his life so that we may have life. It's not just any old person's blood or any old person's life. Jesus is real. God is real. Jesus is real. He is real. I experienced myself. He is real. Only the Father knows when that time will be. When he is ready for, like he's done, he no more. That's it. But the only reason why he has not came back yet or said it's time yet is because Jesus is steady interceding for us, for mankind, to give us another chance, to give us more time. He's pleading and pleading with the Father to wait. He's holding him back. He's the only reason why he ain't unleash his wrath on it, and a lot of us deserve it. Jesus is the only reason why the Father has not unleashed his wrath on us. So he's holding him back because of his Son. If it was not for him, we probably would have been done a long time ago. But that's it. That's all I got. And y'all go back and read them scriptures, indulge in that word, and ask God to take away the things that are not like him. You can't go to God being how you want to be. And back in the day, and this is another example, back in the day, or in other countries even now, you cannot present yourself to a king or a queen, to hierarchy. You cannot present yourself to the ruler or the you can't. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. You cannot present yourself how you want to be to a king. You can't do that. So you can't go to God and say, hey, listen, I'm here. I'm going to do what you want to do, but I'm still going to do what I want to do. But I'm going to do what you want me to do. And when I finish doing what you asked me to do, I'm going to, nah, like that. It don't go like that. You have to lay your life down. You have to lay your will for his will. You have to lay down your mindset for his mindset. You have to lay down your characteristics, your attitude, your way of doing things, and take up the way how he does it. And it's not going to be easy. It's not an overnight process. It's not a cakewalk. It's really not. It's not that difficult if you just allow him to do it, but it's uncomfortable. I'm not gonna lie, it's uncomfortable because you're gonna have people that's gonna hurt you. You're gonna have people that's gonna test you and try you. You're gonna be persecuted. And then you may feel like, God, this ain't you. Like, how you want me to do this and I'm steady getting hurt? Nah, go through it. Go through that fire because it's gonna purify you. It's refining you. It's refining you, and the more you show yourself approved and you willing to give it all, like you ready to just put it all on the line for him, he's going to show you, he's going to strengthen you, he's going to show you more and more and more and more of him. And then when you begin to experience more and more and more of him, you're going to be like, oh, this is, you're going to feel so much love. You're going to feel so much peace. You're going to be like, God, I want more. I don't care what they got going on. I don't care what they talking about. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be numb to what they got to say, people's opinions and how they feel about you. You ain't even going to care no more. You're not going to care. All you're going to care about is, God, I want you. I want to see you. I want to be back with you one day. You're not even going to care about nothing about this world. All you're going to want is for people to know God. You're going to be so excited about just being in his presence and in his love. You're going to be so excited to be in to just bask in his glory and in his peace and his space. And you're not going to care no more. And the most that you're going to want is for everybody else to get it. And that's why, man, you just gonna want other people to get it and understand it. So again, I am Shatasia, and this is Grow Forward Godcast. And I'm just here to tell everybody to wake up. Just wake up. God wants you to wake up because he loves you. And I love you too. And that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you. And I love you. See you next time.